Welcome to Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11.
Welcome in, Home Track Heroes, with you on the air once again on Seattle 11. Excited to have you in here on a Sunday night. I am Caleb Hart, DT on TV. Derek Todoroff joining us. And Derek, Gene Johnson night at the track, and that means the Mark Galloway Twin 70-lap shootouts presented by Busch Light is going to highlight our show tonight. We're going to start with late models. We're going to end with late models. Late model Palooza for the first time of the year on the 5/8 mile.
Yeah, 5/8, that's the big part. And the big story going into tonight, you get some of the out-of-towners in addition to those regulars you've come to expect over the course of the season you've seen here on the program. Super excited to see how everyone scales out here on the big one.
Yeah, we're about to find out because we're going to the 5/8 and we are starting the show off with it right away. As you can see, the drivers out on the racetrack scrubbing tires and getting ready to go for the first of two 70-lap Pro Late Model features coming up here today. Our Pro Late Model division brought to you by Speedway Chevrolet. Your pole sitter is Hayden Plybon. Plybon, the Cascade Rain Gutters, number 55 out of Spokane. And next to him, it's going to be Nama Lang. Nama, the J&R Truck Rentals, number 18 out of Linwood.
Next in line, sponsored by Gene Johnson Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical out of Mooresville, North Carolina. The 65 is Tyler Tanner. On his outside, the Dominic car all season long, sponsored by Edwards Construction. The 3 out of Lake Stevens, Wyatt Gardner.
Row number 3, Caden Holm, the K9 from Monroe, sponsored by Johansson Mechanical. Welcome back, Dawson Cox, the 70 out of Arlington, sponsored by Busch Light.
Inside, row number 4, the 45 out of Marysville, sponsored by Kendall Auto Group, is Nick Beecher. To his outside, the 12C out of Lake Stevens, sponsored by Trademark RCS, is Chad Fitzpatrick.
Fifth row, Chase Gardner, the Quality Towing, number 32 out of Snohomish. Outside of Chase, it's Colton Price, the Northwest Boiler, number 14 from Everett.
The number 5, sponsored by Tire Pros out of East Wenatchee, that's Jan Evans. Alongside him in the number 78 out of Snohomish, sponsored by Joe's Racing Products, the 78 is Haley Constance.
Row behind them, the 82 of Brian Cottrell. He's in the dirt cheap sewer car. Next to him, Mason Cole, the 01 from Chehalis CNC Development, sponsors him.
The Central Welding 19 out of Federal Ways, Chase Pittman. The Pathfinder Chassis 89, Donnie Wannett out of Woodinville.
It's a loaded field, 16 cars going 70 times around the 5/8 mile here at Evergreen Speedway. And just like that, coming out of corner number 4, RPMs pick up, and we are green down the front straightaway, the first two here at the Galloway Shootout underway.
Plybon going to have that preferred low line as we roll through turns 1 and 2. Here, a lot more room to work with, as opposed to 3, which is a very rough corner, hard to keep control of the car in. They stay side by side through turn number 3, coming on here, hugging the low white line. You see Plybon slide up a little in the apex of the corner, but as they exit, he will keep the lead.
One of the things that we see frequently in our Pro Late models when they're on the 3/8, look out, we got smoke. Oh, and we got a big driver's side collision into the wall. Something letting loose on the Chad Fitzpatrick 12 car, and it sprays fluid all over the place. We got a red flag early here and put Chad into the wall hard. Get our first look at a couple of replays as Fitzpatrick. Let's see how it goes down coming off the corner, and you can see something starting to let loose. There's the smoke around, and bang, that race car is going to be Dunsky.
Yeah, it looked like he even got up into the wall prior to that spin. Here's the view from turn 4. Yeah, up into the wall, takes it around, and just that hard hit right into the outside of turn 1.
Well, 5/8 racing can be a little bit treacherous, and Fitzpatrick already feeling it here. Hopefully they can get things put back together and make our next Pro Late Model race, but that car has taken some pretty extreme damage. They're going to be done for just a little bit. We're going to gather the field back up as we only got across the start-finish line once, so 1 down, 69 to go. And front 2 remains exactly the same. Plybon on the inside, Lang on the outside. It was Plybon with the advantage of the first lap. Let's see what kind of tricks the veteran Nama Lang has for him on the outside.
Youth versus experience is the story of this race up front as Plybon, the Traveler versus the 8-time Evergreen Speedway champion, green in the air, and Plybon leads him just by a nose into turn number 1.
We're just starting to say your 3/8 mile racing, you're a little bit tighter most of the time. You're seeing guys go side by side for longer periods of time. Here, you're going to spread out a little bit faster and build bigger runs coming up on the guy. Catch him, and then pass him. And one fell shot is early here. Tanner looking to work to the inside and Nama Lang for second. He'll make the bid for the runner-up position going into turn number 1, and he's trying to bring Wyatt Gardner in there with him.
Tanner, despite being from Mooresville, North Carolina, only recently calling that place home. 2018-2019 Evergreen Speedway track champion there, rolling alongside the 8-time Premier Series champion Nama Lang. Battle for second. Lang utilizing that middle groove through both corners. instead of that low lane we've seen work so well for Plybon and for Tanner.
Tanner was using the extreme low side to the point where he got underneath the white stripe coming into turn number 3, upset the car just enough for Lang to drive around him, re-secure position number 2 as you're watching your leader break away, then second, third, and fourth in the form of the white, blue with orange number 18 of Nema Lang. 65, Tyler Tanner, and the 3 of Wyatt Gardner trying to distance themselves from 5th place on back.
Now, Ben and I walked the track prior to this race, and we were just examining how rough the terrain really is. If you dip below that white line, it can be a death sentence, really upset that car. There's, in that grass there, a tiny bit of standing water. If that gets on the wheel, you're done. As you see Gardner now go to the inside, cutting in there, dangerously close and below the yellow line.
Second time that you'd seen Tanner give up position in the corner as we get a caution over in turn number 2. 19 of Chase Pittman facing the wrong direction. Looking at the inside of the racetrack there, so quickly early here in the first of 2, the Galloway 70 lappers. 2 cautions. Drivers might have a little bit of nerves going here on the afternoon.
Yeah, it's a scary track. It's a big track. It's the biggest in the Northwest as an oval, and drivers like Chase Pittman, only his second time behind the wheel of a late model. So you can excuse some of that nervousness as once more rolling through turn number 4, Nema Lang, and Hayden Plybon will come to the green.
It's a much better start for Lang on the outside this time as he's going to go door to door with Plybon further into turn number 1. They're going to drag race for this thing down the back straightaway. Lang hanging her out upstairs. You saw the car wiggle a little bit off the high groove, but carrying massive speed in and through the middle, making Plybon have to scramble back for it as we're going to go inside the cockpit with Hayden Plybon, but this lap going to be led just by a whisker by Nema Lang, I think. Visually on the screen he was, and there it is. Ticker updates. Lang gets a lap led here.
Now you can see Hayden Plybon taking these corner entries very low, sometimes dipping below that white line, and it's leading to him to wash up through the apex of the corner, up towards that second dashed line and right door to door with Nema. They'll come off at turn number 4, still neck and neck. I think Plybon had it by a slight edge that time, but really risking it, taking it so low into turn 1, you might bottom out the car.
On the 5/8s on a 70 lapper, tires are going to be a thing. They will play into effect sooner rather than later here, so Nema's not going to be able to run the middle all this time. He's going to have to try to get clear of Plybon at some point. Looking to do that down the front straightaway this time, not quite there, although he's almost into the corner. We're taking a peek as Lang and Plybon 1 and 2 out in front. It is Nema Lang, and he finally will get down in turn number 3 and secure that top spot. Well done, Nema.
One of the most interesting things to watch there, though, is as he came down, he slides from that higher line down into the low and washes up the track at the same rate Plybon does. That's how close Plybon's cutting it, how far up he's going on this racing surface. Is Lang in control. We're still riding along with Hayden Plybon there on the right side of your screen. You can see how low he's looking on Nema and then just washing up the track that little bit. Tyler Tanner will be the next car to try and threaten the out-of-towner.
We're only 8 laps into this as you get a look in cockpit again on Hayden Plybon, just a hair groove lower than the guy he's chasing, Nema Lang, up in front of him. You see Nema exiting a little bit sooner on the racetrack, taking the car a little further up on the back straightaway. As our program here on Home Track Heroes, brought to you by Gene Johnson Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. And this race still in its very infant stages, about 10 laps in, 60 to go. And Nema Lang, as so often we've seen here on Home Track Heroes, prefers to be the pace setter. He is leading this field.
Well, speaking of pace setters and dominant forces on Home Track Heroes, you see running in 4th there, hasn't played too much of a role as of yet, was Wyatt Gardner. We jump back here to the battle between the 5 of Jan Evans and the 14 Colton Price. They've got Chase Gardner in front of him, Haley Constance behind him, battling neck and neck as they come on down the front stretch. It's the battle for 9th. Evans on the inside, Price on the high.
Price gets a little further up in that corner. Evans in the 5 car, a super late model winner earlier in the year in Wenatchee, has to back out of it coming out of turn number 2. Had a chance to make the pass, couldn't quite get by. Back to the front we go as those top 4 not quite running under a blanket. It'd have to be an awfully big blanket, but boy, they are awfully tight. And again, awfully tight for what we're used to for seeing this. Normally, your 5/8 gets guys a little more spread out. They look like this. Car length or two in between them as they try to make runs up and on these guys. These guys racing really close up in the top 4 of this, and it's a good battle.
The furthest gap we've seen between first and fourth so far in this race, 2.5 seconds.
Wow, so they're staying awfully close as we continue to march on. 13 laps in this. Less than a car length separating Lang and Plybon. As you look at the turn 1 cam following them down the back straightaway. And then nose on as they come into turn number 3. Lang cutting good laps. Plybon starting to find his rhythm as that car is coming into shape, and he is almost right on the back bumper cover of the 18 as we head into the first corner. We are early in this one. We got a lot more to come. As hang out with us, this is the first of 2 70 Pro Late Model features for the Mark Galloway Twin 70 Shootout. We'll be back with more coming up next here on Seattle 11 on Home Track Heroes. Well, we're early on in the first of 2 70 lap Pro Late Model features here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. I'm Caleb Hart. He's Derek Todoroff. And as we jump back into the action, a couple of laps ticked away while we were under commercial break. Nema Lang added a little pad to his lead over Hayden Plybon, but Plybon has got a whole lot of Tyler Tanner and Wyatt Gardner up in his grill.
Tanner looking low here on the exit of turn number 2. Coming down the backstretch, you see the nose poke there, right underneath the left quarter panel of the 55, and he will put the car right into that position as they come on through 3 and 4. The experience of Tyler Tanner, a winner in the past of the Mark Galloway race in 2014, paying off as he clears the 55. Wyatt Gardner going to try and follow him.
All right, so second and third change hands as Tanner and Gardner pushing their way up and through. They'll get by Plybon. Plybon, the early race leader, now tucks it back into 4th position as Gardner has been all over Tanner all race long as well. So not just enough that Tanner was up on the back of Plybon as long as he was, but Wyatt right there giving Tanner no reprieve and making the pass. In fact, half a groove lower than he was getting into turn number 1. Gardner's looking to advance position here still.
Yeah, he will be a threat against that 65. And while it may look like the 18 and Nema Lang checking out and pulling away, you talked earlier about tires, how big of a role they might play. Seen the 55 fall back, perhaps from that long battle between him and Nema. Might be a similar case for Lang soon.
Find out as this race continues to develop. We are 30 laps into or 40 to go at this point, so approaching the halfway point here for Speedway Chevrolet Pro Late Models. Visit Speedway Chevrolet and RV Center in Monroe for your customized trucks, lifted trucks, work trucks, and Speedway Chevrolet can locate the truck that fits you best. Right now for Nema Lang, it's going to be a truck to haul a big trophy as he leads up and ahead of Tyler Tanner, who you're watching in car on the right side of your screen. Lovely Gene Johnson Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical logo there. And Wyatt Gardner right on his tail, your current podium 3.
Left side of the battle for 9th between Colton Price and Nick Beecher, with Haley Constance in the back, waiting to pounce on any opportunity given. Beecher started this race a little bit more forward, as well as this weekend, with quite a bit of speed underneath that 45. Unfortunately, doesn't seem to have materialized tonight. He's got a mirror full of Colton Price and Haley Constance coming quickly.
Boy, that car pushed at the center of the corner quite drastically as there goes Beecher diving into the bottom. He will make the pass. Sorry, Price making the pass on Beecher going through. Constance with opportunity as well as she'll pull up side by side. Beecher at the exit of turn number 2. Haley Constance in the 78 car, who has been a podium fixture here this year in the Pro Late Models of the 3/8s, and a little further back in the pack than she would like at this point in time, but still time to get forward as we're still approaching the halfway mark.
On the 3/8s, the only driver not to finish off the podium so far this season. Here on the 5/8s, fighting right now for 10th, a top 10 spot on the line. The battle between her and Nick Beecher. She's got that low lane, but just lacking the drive off of the corners as we go back to the battle for 2nd. Tanner in front, Wyatt Gardner in 3rd.
And things are truly wholesale different on the 5/8s versus the 3/8s, and you'll talk to drivers and crew chiefs about how they're setting up, what they're doing different. As you see Wyatt Gardner, a little bump to Tanner, tried to get him out of the way. Tanner did a good job adjusting, keeping calm and not letting Wyatt poke the nose through, but you can see Gardner with the car speed to get there, just the door was open only for a fraction of a second and he couldn't get through.
Yeah, Gardner's car has been real good on the 3/8. He was really excited coming into this weekend to see what he could do on a track that he's been fast at in years previous, just not had the finishing that he has always wanted. Fighting right now, still with the 2018-19 champion Tyler Tanner. Nema Lang, the 8-time Premier Class champion, still leading.
It feels like one of those things that we've seen it this year on the 3/8 with Wyatt. It would be a mechanical bug, and it would get him at the start of a race, or it would get him at some point during the night, and it would derail everything, push him too far back in the field, or knock him to the back of the pack on lap number 1. He'd have to scramble through. This year, he's been able to avoid a lot of that mechanical bug and truly show the talent and speed in the 3 car all the while through.
Oh yeah, it's been a great season for him. And you know, you see Gene Johnson on the hood of that number 65, sponsors of our program here on Seattle 11. Running second right now aboard Tyler Tanner, the out-of-towner, making the journey here. Homecoming for the driver of the 65.
Yeah, spending a lot of time back east these days, doing whatever he needs to do to progress his career. He's even been on the dirt a time or two, trying to get into a micro sprint at the Millbridge Speedway. Been a thing.
Yeah, he and I talked previous to the race about running the ASA Tour, the ASA Stars Tour, the Cars Pro Late Model Tour, and how different it was to come back. He ran the Wenatchee 200 earlier in the year. On the competition level, he said, you know, there's something special here about it. Running up front, getting to battle with some of the familiar faces he grew up around. Rather than these drivers out east, he just doesn't have that same personal connection to.
Well, right now, the guy giving him a hard time trying to make a connection is Wyatt Gardner. Gardner has been high, has been low. The only thing he hasn't been is by Tyler Tanner yet, is Gardner working him over seriously here. Still half a car length back at the most, as he is continuing to try to find a way to either drive around or drive underneath Tyler Tanner. See him entering the corner a half groove higher here, coming off the corner a half groove higher, and actually loses ground on corner exit. All the while, Nema Lang is getting closer to the front two. So your front two are narrowing the gap on Nema, who puts Haley Constance a lap down. So slower car now in between your first, second, and third place drivers, as Lang enters turn number 3, with Constance now in between Tanner and Gardner, who are slowly tracking him down. However, the time, the sands of the hourglass, ticking away slowly. They don't have an abundance of time left to get him.
No, and that's what you're thinking right now if you're Nema. You probably, with the experience he has, are feeling the car start to fall off that little bit more as your tires that you pushed early on start to struggle. But while you see the two of them battling in your rearview mirror, you know that's going to slow them down. That's your opportunity to get away from these guys. Start getting further and further away, build that lead, put lapped cars between you, and force them to make a mistake so you can check out.
Laps the 45 of Beecher puts him further in the hole. So now 2 lapped cars in between your leader, second and third, in Tanner and Gardner, as Nema Lang into the final segments here of this, creeping in on the 25 to go mark. As there is Tanner, there is Gardner. Gardner had to back off it a little bit as they both get by Haley Constance. Tanner's in the interesting position here, trying to run down Nema in front of him while at the same time can't afford to be making the big mistake because Wyatt's been fast in behind him the whole time. It's a really interesting balance that Tyler's having to strike.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you're Wyatt Gardner, these 2 races are for points to you. These are Speedway Chevrolet Pro Late Model points-paying races. And so you don't want to push your car too hard. You need to have it for that second race. You're the points leader coming into tonight. You don't want to give that up with a costly mistake or just a bad move.
So watch for Gardner to be selective in his aggression is what you're saying.
Yes.
So as we're getting down into it, we're coming in, 25 to go here. Tanner has cleared the slower traffic and is narrowing up on Nema Lang. Here in the back third of this race, Lang in the 18. There's Gardner in the 3, who's running third. A little ways back before you see Hayden Plybon coming in again. So your top 3 securing their spots for the time being and hoping to stay under green flag run as well. I don't think any of these guys want to see a caution come out and have to end up starting next to each other.
Well, no, you also don't know. We've been so focused on these top 4. 5th place right now, Dawson Cox. You don't know how good his tires are, how much he's saving what he might have for you should the caution come out. You'd prefer to never find out.
Lang putting a lap on Jan Evans in the 5 car, the son of the legendary Garrett Evans, with the whole crew over here this weekend. Evans, a former Galloway winner in and of himself, Garrett that is. As Nema, you can see back into that race car, starting to step out on him a bit, coming off the corner, having to drive her a little bit harder into turn number 1, and Tanner has brought this lead down to within 4 car lengths as they were at the apex of the corner this time. They're coming into 21 to go. Tanner on the march, running down Nema Lang.
Now, one thing we've seen in the 5/8 in the past, don't know if the race is long enough to really affect this, but as those cars start to drift more and more, you might see the high lane open up as a better option to try and make passes, keep that consistent speed through the entire corner, while the low lane has so much of a slow up in the apex, and by extension can't have that same drive off.
It's a thing that we have seen a couple of drivers, you're right, do here in the Galloway in particular as the race got long. I remember a couple of years back, it was Thomas Stanford who made that middle to high groove look awfully quick, but the battle is on and we're in traffic. Colton Price, one of the slower cars, directly ahead of your race leader, the 18 of Nema Lang, and Tyler Tanner is right there. Nema gonna have to make the right decision coming into the slower cars. Price pulls up, gets out of the way, but Tanner a car length back and coming after him, and Gardner narrowing up again.
Well, Tanner perhaps aware he can't keep the foot in it, otherwise he'd run straight into the back of Lang, and so let off a little in exchange for keeping it so grounded to the low lane through 3 and 4. Gardner, as you mentioned, coming back into the picture, will have a piece to say in these closing laps as we are approaching 15 to go here on the 5/8 oval.
How's the veteran going to handle this, as it is Tyler Tanner now within a car length behind Nema Lang as we're into 18 to go. Coming down to the very nitty-gritty. Down on the very extreme bottom of 1, and now you can see Nema closing off the door, not driving that car as far up racetrack. Coming out of 2, that means he's picking the throttle up a little bit later, coming out of the corner to run a little more defensively. He's down on the very extreme bottom of 3 and 4. Tanner and Gardner right up on him. Here comes Tanner. Is he going to make the bid to the bottom of 1?
That he will do. You see it grounded there. The 3, though, that half groove low, not able to put it 3 wide on the corner, gets real loose on the exit, falls back. Meanwhile, Tanner takes over the first place spot.
Big move, Tyler Tanner to take the race lead through 1 and 2. Coming into 16 to go. Lang now goes into chase mode himself. See if he finds out how much harder he can push his car here in the late goings of this. But Tanner looks to have the better race car at this point in time in the race as he is pulling away from Nema Lang out in front.
Yeah, about 10 miles worth of racing remain. And Lang he might have used up too much of that tire, battling early on with Hayden Plyvon trying to chase him down, as he is starting to fall back. Closer and closer to Wyatt Gardner, while Tanner pulling further and further away.
It is Tyler Tanner, Nema Lang, Wyatt Gardner. Slower traffic is still a factor, as a lot of cars being given the blue with yellow, hold your line, move over for the leader flag, whatever you want to call it. It means different things to different people. Either way, so long as they don't affect the race for the lead, that's the intention of the flag. As you get a look at all the drivers making their way into turn number 3, and there is your race leader, the guy up ahead of the pack in Tanner in the 65.
Yeah, it's a field of a lot of drivers. See Tanner pulling away. You got some of high experience levels on the 5/8s, some with high experience elsewhere, but not really on the 5/8s. Jan Evans, for example, you mentioned, a super late model winner earlier in the year at Wenatchee, has only raced on the 5/8s once, back in 2018 during the Showdown. So here for only his 2nd race, despite all of that experience at Wenatchee, at Tri-Cities, at State Line, where he's raced before.
Things are a little bit different on the big track, are they not?
Much.
Down the back straightaway, and you can see how much air those guys are moving as they drive past the big old banners that are on the backstretch. They are pushing a lot of turbulence back there, as Hayden Plyvon in the 55 trying to catch up to your top 3. Got a quick look at him, but Tanner from the inside of that cockpit is looking awfully good. We're going to look at Nema Lang on the right-hand side of the screen. Lang working down the back straightaway, as Tanner getting away from him. Now Wyatt Gardner looking to move up and into 2nd, so Gardner not done trying to advance, and he's got a shot at it off the bottom of 4.
Gardner grounding it on the exit of 4, right there on the white line, marking the inside. See him just at the edge of that in-car camera shot, keeping it side by side with Nema Lang neck and neck as they're coming up on traffic. Chase Gardner in the 32. And Lang seems to be clear, not quite. Gardner able to fight back here on the inside. Both of them drifting far up the track.
Boy, good battle there for second. Nema holds it for the time being. Gardner unable to get all the way underneath and through as Nema able to get back downstairs, but pushes a little bit the apex of the turn. And there's Wyatt once again with a nose under the 18 car as they continue to duke it out for second against slower traffic looming right ahead of them.
Yeah, Chase Gardner going to take away that higher line. You see the 18 fall behind, right behind the 32. Opportunity for Wyatt, who still has that low lane, can take advantage of the 32, use Chase Gardner like a pick, and he will go up into second, clear in front of the 18.
Interesting where he did it too is when you see that pick, more often than not, it comes in the corners, not so much the straightaways. Gardner used it at the end of the straightaway there to make sure that Lang couldn't get that half groove lower into the turn than he needed to go. Wyatt, smart racing from the 3 car as he'll take over second place here at the first of the 2 Galloway Twin 70 shootouts. Down the back straightaway they move, and Gardner now with a car length on Lang. See if Lang can run him back down now that they're free of the slower cars, but this one, time running out for all these drivers, and for Tyler Tanner, he just wants to see those laps tick, 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 tick all the way down.
Yeah, really, that's the question, is can Wyatt Gardner, with these 7 last laps, reel in the 65? I mean, again, Tanner, winner on this 5/8 oval, not something Gardner capable of saying quite yet. Experience versus, again, youth, the theme of tonight.
So there's Gardner. You can see how fast Gardner has added some room between himself and Lang as there's a look at Tanner. Tanner crossing our start-finish line. Gardner and Lang 1, 2, and 3 with Plybon actually now coming back into the picture in position number 4. Hayden Plybon, the white and black 55 car, your early race leader. See if he can sneak out a podium here as they roll around. Going to be 5 laps to go. About, just a hair more than 2.5 miles left here in this contest. As up in front, Tanner continuing to have no problems. Battle is for third and fourth between Nema Lang and the 18 and the 55 of Hayden Plybon as they race down the back straightaway.
Yeah, coming to 4 to go here in just a moment. That 55 has some speed. Gotta wonder, that early battle, him and Nema, used up a lot of tire, a lot of energy as well. Just if you're a human being, going neck and neck, fending off someone like that. They're both here for third. What'll it be like when we get to the second race? Can we see these two have a resurgence of some kind?
Oh, watch the fatigue factor. And these drivers are going to go into recovery mode immediately at the end of this race. They're going to go, okay, I need to start pumping some fluids. I need to kick back, relax, try to recover your body as much as the race car gets to settle down. As we are down to just 3 laps left to go. You can see Lang too. He is really fighting that car getting into the corner. That car does not look as stable as it was. And you can see it by that little shimmy shake that it has once it gets into the first turn. Plybon been unable to take advantage. And again, credit to the veteran Nema. I mean, he's experienced everything in a late model that there is to experience on both the 3/8 and the 5/8. So he knows how to handle this driving condition that he's experienced right now. Into the turn, there's a little shimmy shake, but he has control of it, knows where to pick up the throttle pedal in order to make the best laps you can possibly make.
Maybe a different car number, but the 00 Hero is one of only 2 drivers in this field to turn every Mark Galloway shootout, show up for each and every one of them. Donnie Wannett being the other one, is white flag in the air for Tyler Tanner.
Tyler Tanner looking to make his homecoming trip a good one. He'll have another 70 laps in which to do something with coming up towards the end of the show, but for right now, he'll take glory up at the very front. Congratulations, North Carolina to Washington, and he'll be packing the big trophy back in home with him. Tyler Tanner going to win the first of the 2 70-lap shootouts here at the Mark Galloway. Give second to Wyatt Gardner, and give third to Nema Lang with Hayden Plybon right in behind him. Fun, good race.
A great race.
So with that, we're going to take a time out. We've got more divisions coming up and more late models coming up at the end of the program. You're watching Home Track Heroes here from Evergreen Speedway on Seattle 11.
Oh man, that was a great restart you got there. got yourself to the lead, and we're leading for so long. Was it tires? Was that what it was?
Well, it just got a little tight getting into the middle. I couldn't roll the center. I really had to slow it down to get it turned, and I knew that was going to kill me at the end. It was good for the first 50, 40, 50, whatever it was, and then I can feel the front end starting to go away from me. But good run. It was a fun race with them guys. They're good, clean racers, and I love racing with them.
Hey, of all people, you went sparring with the driver you've done a couple of rounds with, Tyler Tanner, two-time champion. What was that like having him going side by side with you?
Oh, it's fun. All you got to do is focus on your line. You don't got to worry about him. He's just a clean driver, and we have a lot of respect for each other out there.
And who would you like to thank for getting that car out here for the first one?
Absolutely. My whole crew, for sure, and J&R Trucking, Lang Auto Sports, MJ's Auto Transport, and DeYoung Inc.
Third place tonight, driver of the number 18, Nema Lang. All right, Wyatt, you were battling up there, running in line with Tanner, running in line with Nema. What is that like when you've got the two drivers who've won it before in front of you?
It's kind of like going to Thanksgiving and getting to sit at the adult table for the first time. I grew up looking up to both those guys, and just to have the chance to battle with them is a great opportunity. And like I said, we got hung up there, missed a little bit on the setup, but we'll go make some changes, put right sides on, and see if we can't pick up another spot in the next one.
Going off of that, what is that all you think you really needed to get back to the 65?
Yeah, I couldn't really tell there at the end if he was starting to go into conserve mode and save those left sides, or if we were gaining a little bit. But it's hard racing. There's a lot of lap traffic that played a part, and like I said, I just appreciate those guys racing me clean, and we'll see if we can't pick up with the win in the next one.
Who would you like to thank for this one?
Edwards Construction, Pacific Lighting Systems, my guys, they bust their butts to make sure this thing's in tip-top shape. Pump Industries, DeYoung Inc., Resch Printing, Green, White, Checkered Media. Like I said, my family, my parents, my mom's here. My girlfriend's the first race she's ever missed, and she was a little worried that we weren't going to perform as well tonight, but luckily we could prove her wrong.
Second place tonight in the first one, driver the number 3, Wyatt Gardner. All right, Tyler, here you are, making your way back to Evergreen Speedway, and when all is said and done, you finish first on your race back.
Yeah, it feels good. We had a rough start to the year back east, wrecked a lot of cars, and just things haven't been going our way, so I'm glad that turned around tonight. Just so much fun coming back here, seeing everybody, familiar faces, familiar guys I used to race with. I always enjoyed racing with Nema, and got to do that again tonight, so I think Wyatt's going to be really good in the second race. I think he was as good or better than us at the end, just didn't have the track position, so it'll be interesting. We'll have 2 tires and start all over again.
Carry a lot of confidence in that second race. You think you got what it takes to take it home?
I think so. We can make a couple small adjustments and have a pretty good car. The motor disparity is tough on restarts and getting going, but I think if we get some long green flag runs, we'll be in pretty good shape.
And who would you like to thank for getting out here tonight?
My mom and dad, first off, they put this whole thing together for us to come race 6 events out here on the West Coast over June and July, so I'm appreciative of everything they do for my racing. And then Doug Hobbs, everyone at Evergreen Speedway for supporting us, getting us out here, Gene Johnson, 90 Creative, Central Welding, Hyperco, Hamke Race Cars, Joe's Racing Products. There's so many people that help our program, and I want to thank all of them.
Well, I'm not going to let you go yet. If you turn to your right, we've got a big old check for you to sign. I'll take these things from you, as this is your race winner, $3,500 richer, Tyler Tanner.
Not a bad way to start your day. $3,500 for Tyler Tanner. More coming up on the line in a little bit as you are tuned in to Home Track Heroes here on Seattle 11. I'm Caleb Hardy's Derek Todoroff. We move on to the INX Legends, Derek. They're on the 3/8, and they're going 30 times around.
They are led by the number 13 out of Linwood, sponsored by LB Motorsports, of Jeremiah Johnson. The 20 out of Lake Stevens, sponsored by Flowmaster Gutters, of Damian Harris.
Inside road to the multiple-time track champion in the Mazda of Everett, number 11, Seattle Redmond. It's Chad Sinner, and Zach Reel going to be next to him in car number 7.
Number 86 out of Duval, Washington, sponsored by Lewis and Maine, is Kaylee Decker. On the outside, the number 37 out of Pacific, sponsored by TriMed Ambulance, Mason Nelson.
Row number 4 is the 11 of Danny Arnold, 43 of Dylan Wolf in the lineup 7 embroidering car.
Number 99, that's Travis Blivens out of Stanwood, sponsored by Mayfield Hoisting Services, and the 42A, Piper Alton out of Port Angeles.
Our 6th row on the inside, John Zaretsky from Tacoma, the McMullen Construction 51, and Braden Wager from Camano Island, the Dirt Cheap Sewer number 30B.
The 40 is Samantha Schwartz, sponsored by Sharp Transportation, hailing from Mercer Island. 33, your points leader coming into the night, Phillips Law Firm. Out of Snohomish is Kyle Lang.
In your 8th row, Nathan Adams is the 65 car from Monroe, sponsored by Brian Estrin. And the 10 is Chris Thompson from Snohomish in the Weatherite Roofing car.
Weatherite Roofing also aboard the 27 of Dakota Gruchala out of Snohomish. The 86M, sponsored by McMullen Construction, is Dennis McMullen.
Row behind them is Josh Velock, the 76C from Edmonds. Burgess Construction, your Washington deck building sponsor there. And Jaden Luce in car number 19 from Issaquah.
Bella Luce is number 55, also out of Issaquah. Alongside her, the number 98 at Tacoma, sponsored by Kent Collision Center, Aaron Flett.
And Taylor and Charlie in the field out of Bonnie Lake is Davis Jacobson. Jacobson in the 15D, sponsored by Evergreen Concrete Cutting. Big field of cars. 30 laps around the 3/8 for the INX Legends, where Kyle Lang coming in 3 in a row on the 3/8, if I remember right.
I do believe so. Bumping and beating into the corner, and whoa, round goes the 86 of Kaylee Decker.
Well, that's a quick yellow.
And the rear bumper off of the vehicle. You see, here's a replay of what happened. Everyone's stacking up into the corner. Bella Luce going around.
Traffic jam.
Resulting in a caution being thrown immediately.
Traffic jam part 2.
And unfortunately, the recipient of the worst end of the stick is the 86 as Decker goes around and breaks that rear bumper. Safety rules here at Evergreen Speedway state that that bumper must be bolted on, and so she will have to go to the pits at the very least.
And try to get it rebolted. Good news, bolts are cheap.
Bolts are fairly cheap.
The bumper, not so much. But if they can get it reattached, Kaylee can rejoin this race. Coming up in just a little bit right now. Let's try it again with Johnson on the pole and leading him down through corner number 4. This is a much, much better behaved and nicer start for the INX Legends as we are underway. And this time, they'll all make their way through with Johnson and Sinner now in position number 2, getting around Damian Harris.
There goes Real as well. Late model driver oftentimes climbing into a Legend today as Zaretsky goes around. Front bumper of the 99, 30B off into the grass, 42A involved. There goes the fender of Travis Blivens, rolling its way down the front stretch, trying to catch up and maintain position.
Well, sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug, and sometimes your fender comes flying off racetrack and finishes way further ahead than other people as Zaretsky around.
Someone's bumper flying around there as well.
I mean, we can see here from the Wager car, and, well, yep, all right, around goes Zaretsky, thump, Wager drives on.
Yeah, he will keep it going, and I think that's the front bumper of the 99 of Travis Blivens.
Yes, well, you know, it being is that he did make some contact with John coming through the corner, it does make sense that his bumper would come flying off, right?
And much like Kaylee Decker, rules still apply there, have to get that bolted back on.
Fun! So the Legend main off to a rip-roaring start. Let's try it again. Maybe this time they can all behave. We did get a lap in, allegedly, so we'll go single file here on this restart.
Ordered from the tower, keeping them single file to try and keep these restarts from stacking up together back-to-back too many times. Johnson leading him out of turn number 4. Green, green, green. As you see Mason Nelson jump to the high side immediately. Not going to make a pass or anything, but just trying to find some different lines.
This segment brought to you by Town & Country Tractor. At Town & Country Tractor, you can find a wide range of tractors, mowers, and power equipment for residential lawn care to commercial farming. As we've got a pass for the lead, and leading this one, it's going to be Chad Sinner in the 11C. So Sinner jumping forward, Real second, Nelson in the 3rd spot.
Everyone just follows Sinner around the inside line and past Jeremiah Johnson. At 13 now going to come under pressure from the other driver started on the front row, Damian Harris. But in the meantime, Zach Real looks low against the 11C. Sinner and Real side by side.
And good move there by Real. Ahead, he will be off the bottom of turn number 2. Give him the race lead, depending on what Sinner can do. Sinner Gonna have to settle for second as we've got a yellow flag out and on the racetrack.
Danny Arnold around in the 11.
Program today brought to you by Gene Johnson Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, and we're going to have to cool down these Legends as they are just hot, driving like hotheads and spinning out all over the place.
Yeah, no, it looked like from Lang's view, contact between Wolf and Arnold, none there we saw from that angle. As that caution will reset us to the previously completed lap.
Which will put
Real in second, Center still out front.
So give Chad a chance to reset and take another shot at this as we've got 3 laps in. Right now our laps to caution ratio is fairly unbalanced, but we'll balance it back out. So forward we go, Center, Real, and Real using all of his front bumper on the back bumper of Center, trying to get him squirrely down the front straightaway. So we'll go back to green, top 3 start breaking away.
Well, underrated, but he started in 12th. Look where the 33 has ended up. Correction, started in 14th. At the tail end of your shot, he's making his way, trying to push into the top 5. He's got to get past 2 cars to do that. As Sinner maintains the lead, Real still in second. Nelson running there in third.
And Nelson looking good to move forward into second. He's all over the back of Real, looking to pick up a position.
Waiting for his opportunity, trying to find an inside route. As 7 positions gained for the 33. Kyle Langsy making another move on the low side. What I like to call the Zaretsky line gains him another spot.
Hey, if everybody else just wants to keep giving him positions, he's going to take them just like that. So Kyle Lang on the march. Can everybody else get away from him before he gets to the front? There's the question. Sitter continuing to set the pace. Real and Nelson tightly tucked in there behind him. And out of picture, Kyle Lang 6 laps into this, just on the beat of the drum, marching his way forward, trying to catch up to the front of the field. And boy, yeah, Lang's coming.
Making a move for 5th right now on the inside of Johnson, and he is clear into the apex of 1, heading into 2. So Sinner, Real, Nelson, Schwartz, and Lang, your top 5.
And what you really don't want to do is give him a caution flag and make up that gap that's between him and your top 3 at the moment. So everybody hoping to stay clean and green, at least in your top 3, as Nelson commentators curse strikes. There's the caution that almost everybody else didn't want. And Mason Nelson, who was running in 3rd place, now going all the way to the back of the field. And let's watch it again.
And you see Nelson trying to make the low move here against Zach and just loses it already before even making contact with the left rear.
You know, I don't know if he just stepped on the brake and said, I'm going too fast, I'm going to run into him, and yarded the car around or what, but that's a problem for Mason Nelson because he goes all the way back, and now Kyle Lang's going to start right up in on that front pack, which is terrible news for Sinner and Real.
Well, that's true. You got to wonder, Lang made his way forward from 14th to now 4th. Can Nelson do something similar? Try and rebound and make his way forward. Still 22 laps to go in this one.
Samantha Schwartz takes over position number 3 with Lang right in behind her, and there is Real making another bid for the lead here on the restart. Sinner, good job, no panic in the 11 car. He'll drive away. Meanwhile, they're nearly 3 wide further back in the field. Bliven in the 99 might have made a little contact with the 10 Thompson, and around we go, and the yellow is out as Bliven is off doing a little lawn mowing for us.
Yeah, a little bit of excavating as we'll have a replay for this one.
You know, America's birthday bash is coming up. We need to keep the green grass looking wonderful. Tight, high and tight for the customers coming in on the big day. He's just helping us with the landscape, and it's fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
So back to we go, and they're going to string out single file once again. That does give Nelson a couple more spots in the lineup to work his way back and forward. Sinner, Real, Schwartz, Lang, Jeremiah Johnson doing a really nice job hanging around in 5th. Damian Harris doing a good job hanging up there in 6th as well.
They make their way out of turn number 4, looking to the Gene Johnson flag stand. Green in the air, and Real once again going low. Not going to work out any better this time than it did last. Johnson struggling out of 2. Here comes Harris on the inside. We ride along with Kyle Lang.
It's the Brandy Hood Promotions GoPro camera from the inside of Lang, who sits in position 4. And let's watch how the guy who's taken 3 straight attacks this field and tries to make his way through. He's going to go way down low. Left side tires below the white line going into 1 and through 2. And he has lots of space to make that pass. Coming into the third turn, stays off the rumble strips as Kyle Lang now into third and taking a look at Real and Center up ahead of him and trying to figure out how to get by him.
Slicing through this field like a hot knife through butter as he is right there on the back bumper of Zach Real. Real in that same position we talked about earlier with Tanner when he was running away from Gardner trying to catch Lang. Real has Lang behind him and Center in front of him, as now Lang going to go to that low side, push Real into the middle lane, which might open the door for Samantha Schwartz to try and make something happen.
It's a nice move by Samantha, seeing an opportunity to try to drive into third. Down low and running hard, she'll get the spot. Nice job, Samantha. As there's the bid for the lead. Down to the bottom goes Lang on Center. Wheel to wheel, door to door. Give the spot to Lang coming off of turn 2.
They stay that way. Those two have sparred for a championship more than once. As Lang now takes the lead, Center falling back to second. Samantha Schwartz right there in third. As we've got a car losing control and going around, it's the 27 Dakota Gruchala.
Looks like we've got a car around. It's the 27 of Gruchala who's around. And we will throw a caution flag for Gruchala. So Dakota Gruchala around in the 27 car, and with that, we are going to get another commercial break. Take a look at the spin here for Gruchala in the 27. We'll be back with the conclusion of the INX Legends main event next. Well, we've been having an adventure here in the INX Legends A main event on Home Track Heroes here on Seattle 11. He's Derek Todoroff. I'm Caleb Hart, and tough little race cars to drive. We say that every time they're on the track. Derek, today they are running hard. They're running fast, and we're getting some good laps, and we've had some lead changes, but some guys having a rough time keeping the cars rubber side down and straight as we get back to action with 17 to go here in this main.
Yeah, you see Zach Real immediately jumping to the inside line against Samantha Schwartz. They roll on through turn number 2. Real loose there.
Real loose.
Real loose.
Nice job, sir. Well played. As our program today brought to you by Gene Johnson, Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Third place will change hands. Real sneaking up past Schwartz, retakes position 3, and Samantha coming right back after him saying, I want that podium spot. Give it back to me as your top 4. You see 3 in picture, but your 4 spread out a little bit and give each other a little bit of racing room. Behind them, though, they're side by side all over the place. Danger, Will Robinson. Let's see if they can keep at her safely.
Yeah, you see the 51Z, John Zaretsky, now getting a demonstration of why I called that line the Zaretsky line earlier. Unafraid to take it as low as he possibly can without losing the car. But Kyle Lang starting to pull away from Chad Center and from Zach Real.
Would you almost say that he's playing the lottery? He's gambling there by running the line like that? You know why I say that? Because Washington's lottery was created in 1982. The Washington Lottery established to generate revenues for state programs through the sale of lottery products, Powerball, Mega Millions, Lotto Hit 5, Match 4, and Daily Keno. There are all ways that you can win. Washington Lotto scratch games give players a choice of more than 30 games a year to experience Washington's lottery. Dream big, like Samantha Schwartz dreaming for third place right now.
Yeah, but you see the 7 doing a real good job of holding that inside line. Keeping it right there, neck and neck in the battle for third as we got a caution, yellow, and it is the number 11.
Danny Arnold around in the middle of turn number 2, so we will come back to the booth and let the drivers reset. What a great battle going for third place between a couple of our youngsters.
Yeah.
And Schwartz and Real, and let's see if they can keep it up here as we go back to single file action. It will be Samantha in the 40, starting ahead of the 7 of Real. They're chasing the 11 of Chad Center, and your race leader, Kyle Lang, who's got 3 in a row. And did we shave a lap or 2 there in the process?
Yes, we've cut 5 from this one. As you see, Real going low once more, not able to find a way around this time. Might see at the tail end of your shot a little tinge of purple. Mason Nelson worked his way back into the top 10. The focus still forward with Lang, Center, Schwartz, Real, and Wolf. Don't count out that driver in 5th on the hunt, trying to move forward. Once again on that real low line. 7 car trying to find a way through.
Dylan Wolf has proven himself to be pretty adept here at Evergreen Speedway when he comes over to race with us. Oh, look out! right front to left rear loses in that instance as around goes Samantha in the middle of turn number 3 with an assist, I believe is what the replay will show, but we'll let the home track heroes cameras show us.
Yep. Just a little bit of contact there.
And enough to turn the 40 car facing the wrong direction. So, just like that, a great battle for third over, and the field gets shuffled up again.
Yeah, real tough luck there for Samantha Schwartz. As now Wolf moves up into third, Jaden Luce running in fourth, Mason Nelson back up to fifth. Even after that earlier spin, he has recovered 5 to go, and we see the green.
That was a nice run for Jaden Luce in the 19 car. Really good performance there. And yeah, Dylan Wolf sitting in position number 3, kind of hanging out all by himself as you get a look at Mason in the 37, Wager in the 30, and Jeremiah Johnson in the 13, all packed in there amongst the white cars. Nelson using a little front bumper to try to get the driver ahead of him, squirrely enough to pass. That is Harris in the 20 car, who will fade back a couple of spots in the exchange. We're down to 4 laps to go.
Yeah, Lang right now pulling away once again, picking up right where he left off. Sinner in second, Wolf still third, then Jaden, and then the number 37, Mason Nelson.
So almost done, 3 to go. Kyle Lang looking for 4 straight wins here on the 3/8 as we flash back to look at some more of the youngsters. Jacobson in the 15D amongst them in the pack that you're looking at. Oh, look out, Jeremiah Johnson get a handle on her. Settles her down as Travis Bliven, 360 spin, saves it, drives on, doesn't need no right stinking fender. Who cares, right?
No one needs that. I mean, it's not keeping the engine running.
Or
right
anything.
in the air. One more trip around for the number 33, Kyle Lang. Sinner and Wolf still in pursuit. Jaden Luce, Mason Nelson on the edge of the top 5.
Safest place is all out front by yourself, like the Just Club president on prom night as he rolls his way through, takes the checkered flag, and your winner, Kyle Lang. Chad Sinner and Dylan Wolf. Let's go down trackside to the Angel Winds Casino Resort podium.
Dylan, you've been doing very well down at South Sound Speedway. Come up here, run a third place race in a battle of endurance. What was that like?
Car started out a little better this morning. It's kind of fallen off with the day. This is our new car, and still figuring it out.
Nonetheless, you ran a pretty good race, coming home third place. Who would you like to thank for that performance?
I have to thank my dad for putting up with me and forking out his wallet, and my sister and brother-in-law for the shop, and any of my other friends that have came out and helped us.
Driver of the number 43, Dylan Wolf, third place tonight. Chad, you're no stranger to this podium. Battle there between you and Kyle Lang. Walk us through what it was like going back and forth.
I don't know if it was much back and forth. My car was just a little loose, and I tried to hold it off. Everyone kept cutting down into one, and you can only do it so many times before something bad's going to happen. But hats off to him. It was a good race, and congrats to everyone on the podium. And got to thank Mazda of Everett, Palmer's, Elevate Racing Media, Imperial, Brandy Hood Promotions, Turn 1 Media, everyone that helps makes this possible, Crossroads Towing, my friends, my family. So hopefully we'll do one spot better next time.
Driver of the number 11C, second place tonight, Chad Sinner. Well, Kyle, I know last week was a little rough on the road course. How does it feel recovering, managing to make it here to victory lane this time around?
Yeah, no, it feels great. We just we had to start pretty far back this race, but luckily there was a lot of cautions, so we were able to make our way up there pretty quickly.
Time seems to be your ally. You make your way through the field real quick. How do you do it in that 33?
Yeah, you just got to avoid pretty much every caution and just go up there one car at a time.
You're no stranger to this winner's circle. Who would you like to thank for your performance tonight?
Phillips Law Firm, Third Gen Race Cars, Premier Painting, J2 Racing Parts, my mom and dad, Tracy DeYoung, and Michael Fritz.
Driver of the number 33, Kyle Lang, your INX Legends winner.
Well, back to your booth after your top 3 down on the podium, and we move on to the BECU Mini Stocks coming up. They'll go to the 3/8 mile for 30 laps on their own here on Home Track Heroes. As pole sitter for this one, Jackson Beckel out of Snohomish, the Tire Pros of Arlington, 18J. Next to him, Justin Brave, the J2 Racing Parts, number 21J out of Monroe.
Bobby Fisher drives Tire Pros of Arlington, number 81 out of Lake Stevens. Alongside him, the PRCBD.com 221 out of Everett of Lyndon Smith.
Row number 3 is the 16 of Travis Woodward from Lake Stevens. Brava Pizza in Snohomish, the sponsor for him. Cole Reardon substitutes in the blue number 12 car. He's in the Absher Build LLC machine.
The Edwards K&S Construction 33 out of Lake Stevens is Ryan Hausenfluck. Alongside him, the Strideline Sox 18 of Paisley Bender from Snohomish.
Row number 5, Austin Kramer, the 14 out of Snohomish. Northwest Security and Sound sponsors him. It is Jalen Vick. You'll remember his brother Jonah, former Mini Stock champion, driving the Tom's Automotive number 24 car.
Rounding out your field, making his first appearance here at Evergreen Speedway, the Squires Machine number 3 of Jesse Gonzalez.
Fun field of Mini Stocks ready to go 30 times around here at Evergreen Speedway. It's been a very competitive division here in 2024. Leading them down, Jackson Beckel and Justin Brave on the front row. Green flag is out. Brave, one of those guys who's got a feature win. Bobby Fisher as well has got one, but his car got awfully squirrely off the start. That allows your top 2 to have a breakaway.
Well, it has been Fisher and Beckel all season long. 2 rookies, newcomers to the class, one from Stingers and one from Hornets, climbing behind the wheel of these Mini Stocks. So far, it's gone pretty well for them. Beckel very consistent. Fisher, when he's not having mechanical troubles, has been almost always in victory lane, which is a pretty good issue to have, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Car wins or car breaks. One gets expensive and the other one refills the racing bank account. Good battle out front between Beckel and outside of him, Justin Brave, as we're going to look from the cockpit. Thank you to Brandy Hood Promotions for the GoPro shot of Travis Woodward, who is currently trailing around in 5th position. He's got a great viewpoint of everything that's going on up in front of him.
Yeah, Woodward's got that wonderful shot. He runs 5th, as you mentioned. He and Lyndon Smith, the car right in front of him, duked it out last season for the title. Fortunately, Travis coming just short. Took the last race off, had Mike Marthaler behind the wheel of the 16. He piloted that machine to a 3rd place finish. We'll see if Woodward can do the same tonight.
Up in front, it has been Justin Brave by just a nose over Beckel for the first couple of times around here. Beckel on the inside of the 18, trying to fight back and find something. Bobby Fisher hanging around in 3rd, waiting for something to break loose in front of him. Hard to go 3 wide here on Evergreen Speedway, although it does happen, as Beckel looking at a better run off the inside of 2, forcing Brave in the 21 high in the racetrack. And there's Fisher trying to stick his nose in and follow Beckel down to the bottom of the racetrack to maybe pick up 2nd. Brave, though, so good off the top, and big smoke, and that is fluid smoke coming from Beckel, as you can see him slip sliding around in and behind it. Beckel in the 18, and hopefully he hit that kill switch real fast, as we're under red flag conditions for the 18J.
Woodward and Fisher both also fun. Here's the view from Fisher's car.
You can see it pouring out the exhaust from that original shot that we had, and there goes Bobby slipping through. That could have been way worse for him. Here's a better look.
Both Bobby and Woodward stay out of trouble. No contact for either of them, which is a good break their way.
So, big problems on Beckel. That should be his race, I would imagine. You see that kind of smoke pouring out the exhaust. Something has gone seriously bad. That'll throw, I believe, Fisher's going to go outside row number 1 now with Brave. And that gives Lyndon Smith and Travis Woodward row number 2. So stack them up and let them loose. We're back to green flag action 6 laps into this.
Well, the 2 winningest cars this season, front row, the 2 drivers who dominated last season in row number 2. What more can you ask for? Is Brave going to get to the early lead? Fisher chasing him in 2nd, Lyndon Smith taking sole control of 3rd.
If you're one of those drivers in that outside to middle lane on the start, you are not happy with where the kitty litter was laid down, because that kind of cost you your opportunity on the restart to go side by side. You see Fisher put the right side drive tires just kind of into the speedy dry, and unfortunately it takes a while for that really to absorb in and become a solid racing surface once again as it is sitting there trying to soak up whatever moisture was down. We've got one around. Jesse Gonzalez in the 3. We're coming back. More here on Home Track Heroes next. Welcome back to Home Track Heroes here on Seattle 11. Thanks for spending part of your Sunday with us. Let you entertain us, or let us entertain you, as is. Derek Todoroff, Caleb Hart. As we move forward, just coming out of a caution flag here in the BECU Mini Stock main event. Our program today brought to you by Gene Johnson Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Back to green flag action with Justin Brave and Bobby Fischer racing for the lead again.
Yeah, I see Fischer there on the high side, but as earlier mentioned, doesn't really have full access to that middle groove. Nonetheless, he'll take it to the race lead with that good acceleration off of 2 and down the backstretch.
Nice move by Bobby Fischer, sneaking away to the lead. Brave 2, Smith sitting in the 3rd spot in that very potent race car. We know that car, multiple-time feature winner last year, and of course that car been in victory lane probably more than any one of these individual mini stocks by themselves at this point, as that's the former Lane Sunholm car that Linden has.
I think the only two that might rival it are that J21 of Justin Brave and perhaps maybe the 33 of Ryan Hausenfluck. It has had a long and storied life in its past.
A lot of fast mini stocks out there. It's a really balanced and strong division here this year as you watch Brave try to navigate in and around and catch up to Bobby in the 81 car, who picked up mini stock win number 1 on his very first night as a full-timer in the division. Kind of got the monkey off his back early as opposed to so many of those Hornet mains that we had seen him lead and then get passed late with an inopportune yellow flagger, etc. So Fischer out in front. He's the blue car that Brave is chasing. Meanwhile, in your screen on the left-hand side, the aforementioned Ryan Hausenfluck racing around amongst others. I saw Vic in the screen there for just a second, the former Jaden Kelly car, and more.
But out front, it is the story of Bobby Fischer coming across the line. Jackson Beckel, Justin Brave, been the only 2 drivers who seem to have had anything for him this season. And unfortunately, Brave's car not handling like we're used to. Typically, you'll see it kick way more sideways through these corners. It's staying much more grounded, much straighter.
I wonder if that's part and parcel to the speedy dry that's on that outside around 1 and 2, that he's having to keep the car a little more straight and underneath him and not letting it drift as wide, because get those right side tires into that with it already sideways could be a very bad time. Although Fischer's not getting too far away. In fact, it looks like Brave has closed, albeit just a little, but he has closed a little here in the last 2-3 laps.
And see, now the car's starting to kick a little looser. That's the way Brave likes it. Loose can be hard to drive, but it's so quick once it gets rolling. He is putting the gap between him and Smith while chasing down the 81. Travis Woodward, you see sitting there in 4th, waiting for any opportunity to try and close in.
So we are halfway through this race, 15 in, 15 to go. Busch Beer, the official beer of NASCAR and Evergreen Speedway. Busch Beer, the sound of refreshment, crisp and cold as Mountain Stream. Keep your fridge happy by stocking it with Busch and Busch Light. Busch. It is the 21 of Brave here watching the in-car. You don't see the rear view mirror because Lyndon Smith would be all over it, and Smith might have just given him a tap as Brave is pulling out of the line.
Problems for Brave. He came slow down the backstretch and into 3. Smith only made contact as a result of Brave slowing up. You see him signaling as he comes across the line. He's heading into the pits. Problems for the J21 as well. Oh, wow. The left rear of that car was pointed towards the sky.
Uh-oh. Bent suspension, amongst others. No good.
No.
So, Fischer leads now. It is Smith in charge of trying to track him down, and Woodward, who has just been doing Travis Woodward things, the veteran, always has his car in the right spot towards the front of the pack. He is in 3rd with a late race opportunity to ascend further up the field if he can track down Smith and maybe Fischer. Time not on his side, though, as we're going to be 2/3 of the way through the race the next time these guys pass past the white stripe down the front straightaway.
Yeah, it is tradition for that 16 to come home on the podium. Last year, his first time being at the top spot. That car has still maintained a lot of that speed. It's just Bobby Fischer's been so fast. He's chasing the only car that beat him consistently last season in the former Lyndon Smith. So you can't feel too bad if you're Travis right now.
No, in a good position, has run a good race so far, in position to roll it right back in the trailer, too, which is not something that everybody can say here tonight.
No.
Evergreen Speedway, as you're taking a look at Smith, we have not seen Smith in and out every night this year. It's been a little more part-time than normal.
Well, he's had a couple of troubles over the course of this season, including a spin out earlier on. He got hit in the front, got the front end severely damaged, broke the radiator on that car. Then just the next week, lost the engine, and that cost him another race he was unable to make it out to.
Now, here's the good news for Linden, and it's a two-part good news here, Derek. One, he is closing on Fisher. You can see that gap getting awfully, awfully tight between your lead, too. So Fisher, lead is in jeopardy here as Smith getting strong. Good news part two for Smith, you're going to see him allegedly on next week's Home Track Heroes as he's pulling the Hornet out of the weeds to run at America's Birthday Bash, which is coming up next week on our show. Ooh, so should be fun.
You know, back when he first started running mini stocks, he ran that Hornet here in the mini stock class.
Nice. It's a good car, too. Should be fast. Should be a bunch of fun for him. Fisher is having some problems getting past slower traffic, and that's what's costing him here, as right in the line of what he's trying to do is the rookie Paisley Bender, the move up from the Youth Hornets. Now, hard to the inside goes Fisher. They'll finally shuffle Paisley backwards a spot, but Smith has used this opportunity to close to within 2 car lengths of Fisher, your race leader. Here down to 4 laps to go. This one getting exciting.
Yeah, there's still potential for Smith, and if the two of them get side by side, could draw Woodward into the mix. But for now, Fisher still in the lead. He's got House and Fluck in front of him, one of the most dangerous names in racing. All while Smith right there on the back bumper, biding his time, waiting for his opportunity. It's 3 Hornet vets in your shot right now.
Down into turn number 3, Fisher, Smith, House and Fluck is the lapped car on the outside. Gets out of your leader's way as we're down to just a couple left. And there's Linden right on the rear bumper cover of Bobby. Bobby voraciously defending the bottom groove through the first 2 corners. Gonna try to do it again through 3 and see if he can pull it off again through 4 as we run to the white flag. Smith right there to push him here at the end.
1 to go. They've got to make it through the 3/8 one more time. Smith falling back a little this time down the front stretch. As they come down the back stretch, I think Fisher just might have enough. Smith, not a big enough throw up the high side. Out of turn number 4. Checkered flag in the air. Bobby Fisher holds on to the BECU Mini Stock main event win. Lyndon Smith in second, Travis Woodward third.
Valiant effort on that last lap by Smith to kind of drive down off the hill, diamond that corner off, and see if he could just get a monster run to the inside. But nothing there for him. He'll be happy with the podium, as will Woodward. And let's go down to the Angel of the Winds Casino Resort podium and get some thoughts from your top 3 finishers.
All right, Travis, 3rd place tonight. How good does that feel?
Feels good. I had Mike in the car last race, and I was over at my son's graduation. He did 3rd, so glad to be back in it.
Yeah, in a points fight now. You get problems, obviously, for another car, Jackson Beckel, so the points are starting to shake out.
I hope Jackson gets it back. I like racing with Jackson. We're just going to go out and have some fun, and the points don't really matter to me right now. I just want to go out and have fun.
And who do you want to thank for helping you get out tonight?
I got to thank Jim Heller for the motor, all my crew, all my sponsors. I just had fun tonight. It was good to be back in it. And I congratulate Lyndon and Fisher for doing what they did, and we were going to catch them if we had more laps.
Let's give it a 3rd place, Travis Woodward. All right, Lyndon, tough race again, but coming home back up on the podium after some of the struggles earlier in the year. How good does it feel to be back up here?
I mean, it feels amazing. I'm glad we're back. I mean, it's been a tough start, so back-to-back podiums, I can't be upset.
And who do you want to thank for helping you get out here tonight?
I got to thank PRCBD, Bosworth Trucking and Grading, Central Welding. A huge shout out to Dave Riddell, my crew chief. Without him, it'd be impossible. My spotter, my mom, my grandma, my grandpa, and just everybody who helped me get out here.
Perfect. Let's give it up. 2nd place tonight, Lyndon Smith. Yep. Bobby, big win tonight. You now sit atop the point standing. How good does that feel to know that you're leading the championship?
It feels great. I got a DNF out here, so I've been working really hard to get every point I can get. I love the competition, so I hope he comes back strong, and we'll do it again.
Yeah, that 81's been so fast in the straights. What can we expect from you for the rest of the year?
I just hope to get faster. Keep doing what I'm doing and getting faster is what it is.
And who do you want to thank for helping you come out tonight?
I want to thank Raritan Racing for helping me build the car. Everybody that helps me in the pit, my daughter for spotting for me, and my sponsors, Tire Pros of Arlington, J2 Racing, Calicut Landscaping Services, K's Crochet, Gary Fisher Construction, Full Throttle Graphics, Translab Performance and Tuning, and Beast Fab and Tuning.
All right, let's give it up. Race winner, the 81, Bobby Fisher. And
Congratulations, Bobby, on the win. We'll work on getting that stand behind the sign thing while you're doing that. It's a work in progress, right?
Yeah, you know.
It's a thing. All right, we move on. Understand that we're moving the Pro Late models up in the program a little bit. At the time of this, a little bit of weather knocking on the door, so that's why they're moving forward on this one. Front row for Mark Galloway Shootout number 2. Hayden Plybon's 55 out of Spokane, the Cascade Rain Gutters car. Name Lang's 18 out of Linwood, the J&R Truck Rentals machine.
Wyatt Gardner lines up inside row number 2 in the number 3, sponsored by Edwards Construction out of Lake Stevens. Part 2 for Tyler Tanner, the 65 out of Mooresville, North Carolina, sponsored by Gene Johnson Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Row 3's Dawson Cox, the Busch Light 70 out of Arlington. Chase Gardner's 32 out of Sonoma, sponsored by Quality Towing.
The Northwest Boiler 14 out of Everett, Colton Price. The Johansson Mechanical K9 out of Monroe, Caden Holm.
5th row's Haley Constance. Joe's Racing Products sponsors the 78 from Snohomish. Nick Beecher's 45 out of Marysville, sponsored by Kendall Auto Group.
Tire Pros above the number 5 out of East Wenatchee, Jan Evans. Out of Chehalis, the CNC Development 01 is Mason Cole.
Final row, Donnie Wannitz, 89 out of Woodinville, Pathfinder Chassis car. Chase Pittman's 19 from Federal Way at the Central Welding Supply car. So, we're down to 14 cars. Understand we're looking at laps on this one as well. 50 is what we're being told now from the NASCAR officials. Looking at that, and that is again, there is weather knocking on the door, and that's why we're looking at 50 here for the start of this one. Galloway Shootout Part 2. Green flag is out, and what do you know?
Home into the wall.
Oh, yeah. I was about to say Plybon and Lang battling for the lead, but we're going to get a quick caution.
Holm into the wall coming off of turn number 4, then contact between him and Nick Beecher before we even take the green.
Let's take a look from Donnie Wannett's perspective back in the field, and sparks showering. Wannett will escape down the front straightaway. All is well. Coming off the corner, and contact with Beecher there at the tail end, but you can see something wrong on the home car and up and careens up into the wall. Unfortunately, a bad start for this, but we'll get a second try at it.
Yeah, you know, actually, we didn't catch it, but there was an earlier incident with Till Green. Fortunately, also cost us Chase Pittman in the number 19.
Okay, so Pittman off racetrack as well in the 19 car, so field slims up a little bit more. Plybon and Lang feels like they've been side by side at the start of the race quite a bit already. We've seen restarts early often, and on this one, Lang's got a big old head of steam on the outside groove, although they look relatively even coming to the start-finish line, and it's going to be Plybon into turn number 1.
Yeah, Plybon there into turn 1. Ooh, looked like we might have been trying to go 3 wide at the tail of the field. Nonetheless, we focus on the runners up front. And caution lights are on, and Haley Constance has shredded the front end of that car.
I was about to say, coming out of that second corner with your opening leaders, it was deja vu all over again, but this a little bit different result is Constance in the 78, parts and pieces lying askew all over the place, and let's get a look at it is, yep, 3 cars not going to fit there, as Constance and Gardner together, here from Colton Price's point of view.
The car on the inside of the 3. Ooh, a little bit of contact with him.
And off and into, and now from Haley's point of view, and well, is there room? Tight fit getting into the turn. You can see Haley upside down, and well, you know, body work. At least we got plenty of it at Joe's.
Yeah.
There's the good news.
Here's the far off shot one more time. Yeah, Chase Gardner on the outside, also involved in the incident, but Haley Constance takes the brunt of it in the number 78.
All right, so Haley's car going to need some repairs. This has been a bit of a scattered start here on this second of the Mark Galloway Shootout, but a lot of drivers who didn't have the best round 1 looking for better results, and tensions might be a bit high.
Perhaps, you know, the 5, Jan Evans, had some problems, got a tire late in that race on the Tire Pros 5, but now he's got a chance to fight his way back forward. Same for Donnie Wannett, who's been fighting mechanical troubles in the 89 all day long, but they will roll out of turn number 4. Look to the Gene Johnson flag stand, and we are back underway. Green in the air for the second Pro Late Model Twin 70s here at the Mark Galloway Shootout.
And Plybon again out into the lead as we're going to go dual screen. Take a look at Jan Evans, the 5 car, the winner of the Leonard Evans 150 earlier in the year at Wenatchee in Super Late Model action. Going to settle in. Watch the guys in front of them kick up some sparks and start putting some laps into the bank, as up front, Plybon leads just as he did early in the first shootout. Lang is second, and in the third spot is Gardner. Here for opportunity to move up. Gardner has opportunity down low on Nema. Let's see if he can get underneath and make the pass.
Not this time.
No, not yet. Still very early, though.
Well, the only change to our top 4 between the 2 races is the 3 going to 3rd instead of 4th, lining up inside of row number 2. You see Donnie Wannett making his way forward in the number 89 to the inside of the 5 of Jan Evans, and heading up, now threatening, it looks like, Price for his position.
Yeah, Wannett, a talented race car driver, a lot of feature wins, not just here at Evergreen Speedway, but in the Northwest, and has moved to more of a part-time schedule here over the past couple of years, but we know that guy can race through any field and starting to pick it up.
Not even just in the Northwest anymore. Last year went out to Wisconsin, picked up a win.
That's right, as he is one of the head guys for the Pathfinder chassis development out there. So when they're trying to do something new on one of the race cars, Donnie's got a lot of input to it, and getting the car all shook down, ready to go here at Evergreen Speedway, and doing things really well here early on in the program, as he's just outside the top 5 here within the first 10 laps of this A feature, the second of our Mark Galloway shootouts.
Drivers falling all in line up here in the top 4. It was these 4 drivers that fought tooth and nail in our first race. We'll see if they do it again. As Gardner looking low, not going to find it this time. Tires still a factor, although in a 50-lap race, a little bit less of one.
So they were given 6 new tires to race with today. So they had a full fresh set and then 2 additional, depending on when they wanted to use it, is there to the inside. There's Jan Evans trying to sneak back underneath Colton Price for position. Evans down low off the corner, and Jan will make the pass. Back out front, Plybon's advantage over Lang is starting to shrink. And again, they got 6 tires. You got 6 new tires to use over the total of the 120 laps you were going to run today. When you use them, what side you put them on, and where, etc., that is going to be a big question mark as far as this goes. As you take a look, 6 laps into it, top 4 are getting even closer than what they were. It feels like it took a little bit longer for that pack to condense earlier on in our first race.
Yeah, perhaps. The speed just has equalized so much. You see Gardner finally getting here to the low lane, dips below that white line, sees the sparks come off when he makes his way through the corner, but it'll get alongside Nema Lang. Out of turn number 4, shot here on the inside. He has open track in front of him. It's a pass for pass for second last time they did it. Same case here. But his sights now set on Hayden Plybon if he can complete the pass.
Well, Lang, just like he did before, though, is not giving anybody an easy pass when they get to the inside of him. He is fighting hard in that middle groove right now and forcing Gardner to pedal even harder than he would be. Now Wyatt has got it at the transponder loop. He will pull ahead out of 2 and now is just free enough. His spotter would be telling him, clear high, but not by much, as we're going to watch those 2 drag race down the back straightaway and get prepped for a commercial break. So you're watching the second of our Mark Galloway shootout for the Speedway Chevrolet Pro Late Models. We will come back with feature number 2, more of the Pro Late Models next here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. We are in the middle, or kind of in the middle, of our second of the Mark Galloway shootouts here for the Speedway Chevrolet Pro Late Models here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. He's Derek Todoroff. I'm Caleb Hart, as we are live in action, and we are over halfway in this one, so 24 laps to go, and as we're looking at it, that is the race for the lead. Hayden Plybon's got a whole lot of Wyatt Gardner breathing down his neck.
Gardner right here on the inside. That's the preferred line, at least right now. And you see Plybon holding his, maybe just forcing that 3 low, bottoming out on the exit at 2. Sparks flying. Gardner not giving up though, keeping it right there. You see him stick just neck and neck. Contact between the two of them on the exit of the corner.
Door panel to door panel at the apex. Give it to Plybon still by just a nose. Slower traffic looming ahead of them with Lang and Tanner right in there as Gardner nosing ahead for the lead coming out of turn number 2.
Elbows out racing, but that is how racing can be sometimes. You only have so much time, as that was definitely contact there in 3 between the 3 and the 55. You saw Gardner bottom out on the exit of 4. Here comes Tyler Tanner on Nema Lang, who might get held up here by Mason Cole, and that will allow Tanner up into 3rd. He's chasing Wyatt Gardner and Hayden Plybon.
Indeed, Lang kind of got hosed by the lap traffic there as he had swung high thinking that maybe something would break loose. Plybon rallied in the high groove to get back to the lead, but you can see that back end of his car trying to step around on him as we've got 20 to go. What a fantastic, fantastic main event this has been, and big thank you again to Gene Johnson Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical for bringing us the program here tonight. Home Track Heroes always brought to you by Gene Johnson. Another bid for the lead down the back straightaway. Gardner again to the inside in turn 3.
Wyatt wants this one. It's been dominant so far this season here at Evergreen Speedway, but he doesn't have a crown jewel to his name, doesn't have a 5/8 win. Once you do, it's a different story. It's a different honor. He is holding right there on the low side against Hayden Plybon.
Can Plybon turn him away? Had a really good exit to turn number 2, did Plybon, and he will continue to hold the top spot. Here's Tanner now, and Tanner with the bid for 2nd as Gardner, while racing for the lead, might have forgot about having to play defense for just a minute, and that allows Tyler Tanner back to the 2 spot.
Yeah, he washed up the track after bottoming out. It looked like being forced low in turn number 2. Plybon real defensive, and it's making this an interesting one. We ride along on the right side of your screen with Dawson Cox. But on the left side, the battle, the top 4. Plybon, Tanner, Gardner, Lang. Giants of racing right now.
Yeah, beautiful split screen shot here as you're watching Cox, who could, I think, barely see the back of the Cole lapped car ahead of him. That's how far out your top 4 are. Big thank you to Central Welding Supply. Their mission of excellent service hasn't changed since 1979. Local ownership, larger inventory, and expert staff makes a difference in 27 locations. Find one near you at centralwelding.com. Bid for the lead now as Tanner within a car length of your race leader, Hayden Plybon. We're in car with Colton Price on the right-hand side.
Yeah, you see Tanner got forced a little low there, bottomed out once again. Plybon's playing defensive, taking the lines away when he can. Tanner's gonna try and reel him in once again. Now a 2-time Mark Galloway winner, a 2-time track champion, chasing down one of the younger drivers in the Northwest, a touring, very successful driver in the 55 of Plybon.
Gardner in 3rd, Lang in 4th. They're close enough that if something major happens between the two, either could capitalize as they work their way into turn number 3. Looks like Tanner half a groove lower than Plybon. We've seen that pretty consistently out of Plybon. He doesn't mind being a half groove up. He's made it work for him the few times somebody's been able to get to the door panel next to him. As we're down to 14 to go, Tanner again half a groove lower, and right there taking some air off the spoiler of Plybon. Will he make the bid for the lead into 3? Door closed going into the corner that time.
Running those blocks can be risky, trying to cut off those lanes. But it's worked so far. It's worked for 37 laps for Hayden Plybon. Can he hold on the final 13? Wyatt Gardner back in the mix. The 3's pulled to the back bumper of Tyler Tanner. Tanner knows he's got to go now.
And where you'll see where you'll see that block really come into play, they get down and make the block, but that affects their corner exit something significantly. So if you see Plybon come down racetrack real quick to close that door, watch corner exit the next time around, because there's a cause and effect to when you do that. Chopping down in the corner affects your exit of the turn, and if Tanner can anticipate that, maybe that's the chance for Tanner to get by him.
Yeah, it's hard to do it though. As well, if you poke too low, you bottom out in those corners, lose a ton of speed through both the corner and on the exit. You see the sparks fly off when they do. It's a risk both in 3 and in 1. We saw in the showdown last year with Casey Klein.
Part of the cat and mouse game that's going on between the two of them. Quite the chess match between Plybon and Tanner. Tanner hard racing up on the back of him. Plybon again enters a little bit higher. There's the bid to the bottom for Tanner. Can Plybon keep past him this time? He successfully did it with Gardner down low as they go side by side for the blink of an eye. Plybon still has it going into one. Now they're even Steven. Now they make contact going into the corner. Tanner loses 2 spots. Way off the pace now, Tyler Tanner.
Tanner there, the contact in 1, door to door. We gotta wonder how both those drivers are feeling right now. Plybon probably doesn't even have time to think about it because Wyatt Gardner in the 3 is already here. Nema Lang fast on his tail.
Just a reaction there from Plybon, right? He's got to keep driving and keep his foot in it. We're single-digit laps to go. 9 left for Plybon, Gardner, and Lang. As the battle continues up in front, no rest for the weary and Hayden Plybon as there's Wyatt Gardner pressuring him all over the place for the second Galloway win.
Oh yeah, Gardner wants this just as much as Plybon does while sitting behind them. Nema Lang, who's a little unhappy his exclusive 2-time title's been taken from him, would love to go 3, get back in that one-of-a-kind club. But Gardner right here, right with Hayden Plybon, coming right to the back bumper, a little bit of contact perhaps, poking the nose in there and into the dirt on the exit of 4.
Oh, Nema Lang taking advantage, sneaking up to the high groove on Gardner, and he will sneak second away from him, at least for the time being. Sparks flying on the Gardner 3 car as Lang drives into second with 7 laps to go and just a half a hair higher on the racetrack in pursuit of Plybon now. We saw him pass Plybon for the lead in main event number 1. Does the veteran have something up his sleeve here in the final 6?
That's what we're about to see. The 8-time Premier Series champion here at Evergreen Speedway, right on the tail of Plybon. Falling back a little bit this time. It'll be 5 to go when they make it back to the line. 32, Chase Gardner may have a role in this. Decide who comes away with the victory. That's how Lang lost second to Wyatt last race, who is still right there. As you see Tanner also starting to close in at the tail end of your shot.
And Tyler Tanner probably driving angry at this point in time with time getting very, very short. Desperately hoping for a caution flag. Bid to the top for Lang. He'll bring it back down in line quickly as Gardner is out of the way. Leaders running for the win. Plybon a little loose on corner exit. Lang all over him trying to take the win.
You see just how tense it's getting. This is the moment of truth. You were saving your cars the first race. For the second time through, now you're not. Now you know the next date. It's the Summer Showdown. That's when your car needs to be ready. Lang risking it, trying the high groove. Here comes Wyatt Gardner.
Nothing ventured, nothing lost for Nema Lang. Lang comes off the corner with some momentum, but Wyatt right downstairs going to prevent him from getting low in 1 and 2. Again,
loving it.
Yeah, punch, counter punch going on here, and Plybon loves seeing those 2 race for second behind him.
Yeah, you see the 18 poke ahead here on the higher lane. That's what's working for him. We talked about how that could come alive as the night went on. Closing in now on Hayden Plybon in the number 18, but he's got to get away from Wyatt Gardner.
Boy, 3 cars, 1 spot, all for the second of the Galloway win. And here comes Tanner, 2 to go as these 3 move down the back straightaway. Derek, the next time they cross the line, it'll be 1 lap left for Hayden Plybon, but Plybon has sharks swimming in the water with him.
Lang to the top, trying to find a way through. Everyone else has gone to the bottom against Hayden. It's not going to work on the high side. Plybon sees the light one more time around.
Great race up front here for the second of the Pro Late Model features. Plybon, a little bit of breathing room coming out of turn number 2. It's going to be a big last second run for Lang if he can pull it off. Let's see, he's going to dial up Mary. Mary not answering the hail, coming off of 4. This one belongs to Hayden Plybon. Plybon, the win over Lang and Gardner. To the checkered flag. Tanner had reeled them back in 4th. Wow. Great race here at the Galloway. As you watch the rest of the field cross in and through and under the checkered flag and down the back straightaway. Oh, well, Tanner Not happy with Hayden Plybon. Contact to the back straightaway. Plybon ends up on the inside wall, but he'll have a big check and a big trophy to show for it as he walks out of the car a little upset.
All right, Wyatt, tough racing all day, but 2 times up on the podium at the Galloway. How does that feel?
Great. Man, I threw everything I had at him, but that 55 was pretty good and has a lot of motor. So we tried, but 2 podiums, good points day for us. And hey, car's in one piece. We'll put it back together and come back for the next one.
Yeah, having to battle out, having to defend a lot from Nema Lang. Talk about when you're trying to attack and you got those cars coming fast, Tyler Tanner as well. The 4 of you were just circling that whole time. When you guys are side by side through those turns, how difficult it is to keep your car where you're at?
Especially coming down the end of it. I mean, really none of us had a great car. So when you try and dive inside of somebody and you pray you don't wash up and door them. And I got into Hayden, I don't know, every lap for the first 20 laps. So, but hey, we're all race car drivers. We're all going to do whatever we have to do to get to the front. But we do have a lot of respect for each other, and it's always a great time to come out and race with these guys.
And who do you want to thank for helping to get out tonight?
Pacific Lighting Systems, Edwards Construction, Pump Industries, Costellini's, DeYoung Inc. My guys busted their butts. We got done with that 70 lapper. We basically went through that entire car. Everybody had a job, and they got right back through it. And that thing was a little bit better than it was in the first one. So thank all of them. Like I said, my girlfriend's not here. My mom, just everybody. This has been a really special year, and it's the first year we've gone race without my dad. So it's every trophy he gets, another one we can dedicate to him.
Let's give it up one more time. 3rd place, Wyatt Gardner. Nema, you and Wyatt were battling a lot through that in those last 10 laps or so when you guys were trying to close down on Plybon. Talk me through just trying to get around the 3 car.
Yeah, with just 2 right sides, it makes, you're just in a controlled slide, and hopefully you don't slide too much. My car was decent. If, 20 more to go, who knows what would happen, but it was fun racing with all 3 of them. It's just like good side by side. You don't have to worry about them hitting you or smashing into you. It's just fun, a lot of fun.
And what's the biggest difference when you guys race this big track versus the usual 3/8s for you?
You got to give a lot. I mean, there's a lot of give and take, but on the 5/8s, it's just one little tap, and then you got to clip your car. It's not a good thing when you hit the wall at this speed.
And who do you want to thank for helping to get out tonight?
Yeah, for sure, my whole crew: J&R Truck Rentals, Lang Auto Sports, MJ's Auto Transport, and DeYoung Inc.
Perfect. Let's give it up. 2nd place tonight, Nema Lang. All right. Hayden, you are a Mark Galloway winner. How good does that feel?
It felt pretty good till Tyler Tanner came and decided to wreck me over him trying to wreck himself. But it was fun till then. It was good racing with the number 3 car and everybody else here. It was a good weekend. Fought some stuff today, lost the transmission, had no practice today, so fought a little bit, but got it good for this last race. Still a little free, but managed to take the win.
Yeah, you had to battle a lot, playing a lot of defense there. You led practically every lap, if not all of them. Walk me through when you have Nema Lang, Wyatt Gardner, and Tyler Tanner coming behind you.
I don't know. I was just trying to run my own race, and when they said they were there, I was just trying to give them as little room as I could without getting into them. So clean, fun racing, and it was good racing everybody but Tyler Tanner.
And who do you want to thank for helping you get out here tonight?
Cascade Rain Gutters, Kevin Richards, Muffler Mart, Race Cows, Angels Bail Bonds, just anybody that helps me out, Evergreen State Towing, and my whole crew. Some couldn't be here, but I think the ones that are here, Josh Aguirre, Tom Plybon, Brock Denny, and Kevin Richards especially.
Mark Galloway winner, Hayden Plybon. Stay with us, Hayden, 1 second. We got this awesome, ridiculously large check for you. I don't know where the Sharpie is at the moment, so we will get that sign. We'll get the photo of it here in a minute, but congratulations one more time, Hayden Plybon!
Well, an explosive end to the 2nd of the Mark Galloway Shootout main events for the Speedway Chevrolet Pro Late models. Hopefully our Tire Pro Street Stocks can tame things down a little bit, but still provide a great race. I'm Caleb Hart. He is Derek Todoroff, and our lineup for the Tire Pro Street Stock main looks like this on the pole. That is the 72 of Brian Thornborough. Next to Thornborough's 72, it's the 96 of Tyler Hill.
27 is Jerry Helm inside a row number 2. Outside, Racing Royalty, Stuart Harding in the number 39.
The 3rd row, it's the 85 of Jim Fody. Fireball on the inside. Next to him, Chase Jones in car number 14.
Mike Shimmick in the number 7 inside row number 4. Austin Camp outside in the 69.
Fifth row, Jesse Jensen in car number 3, and Steve Potasic in the 06.
Kenny Erickson drives the number 22, and Andrew Rivas in the number 44.
Then Tony Deegan is the 42 car, finishing out our field as we're taking a look at 13 cars, 30 times around on the 3/8 mile. Should be a bunch of fun. Potasic, your most recent feature winner. Jensen in the 3 car, the dominant car in the division, both of them stuck in that 5th row, Derek. Should be a lot of fun watching them carve through this field.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun for everyone. Special shout out to the number 14, who you see missing the entire left rear quarter panel after an incident in the heat race. They will roll out of turn number 4, look to the Gene Johnson flag stand, green in the air, and Hill will try and clear. Not going to be able to do it here into turn number 1. Everyone's stacking up on the inside line.
Hill out of Lake Stevens in the Ad Taxi sponsored car, driving up into the early advantage. The 39 of Harding, the Harding Motorsports car, running in second position. As we have seen, the outside lane, not a bad lane for these guys. They can make it work. 1-2, Hill and Harding in the early going here.
3 wide.
Thornborough 72, sponsored by Omni Contracting Solutions, trying to hang on to that position in the early going.
We were 3 wide a little further back with the 7 of Mike Shimmick, the big block brewing machine. On the inside, made some contact with the Tiger Construction number 27, Jerry Helm, as everyone loose and squirrely all around the track.
And Fody in the trademark RCS 85 into the back of Thornborough, and there goes the Lang Autosports 06 of Potasic. Lang Autosports having a really good night. The Tire Pros, the shop out of Arlington, number 3 of Jesse Jensen. Both those drivers moving through the field early.
On the Chrome 3, chasing on down. Chase Jones here on the inside in that car that is clinging on right now. Look at the damage to the left rear that was sustained during that heat race incident. Just happy to see him out here, and officials did deem it is safe still to drive.
Chase's sponsor is Whisper Cool, and it's kind of a cool design on that race car without the left rear quarter panel. Up front, Hill and Harding have broken away a little ways. 4 laps into this, and whoa, that car is shredded.
That is Thornborough.
Wow. Right ahead of the 44 of Andrew Rivas, sponsored by Andrew's Truck Repair, and boy, the 27 Jerry Helm, the Tiger Construction car, facing the wrong direction as well. Let's get a couple of looks at how this all happened, and here's the initial thump. Wow. Helm got way up in the air for a second.
Yeah, just drove up and over the number 72 of Thornborough. Here's another shot of it. Oh, man, shredding the left side of the 72.
Wow, monster trucks won't be coming to the fair, and won't be coming to Evergreen Speedway until the fair, but we just got a little preview of what car shredding car or truck shredding truck looks like there in quarter number 2. So let's settle them down, get back to action. They'll go 2 by 2 as we remind you guys our program, this segment, and all of Home Track Heroes brought to you by Gene Johnson Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, your one-stop destination for all your home service needs. Whether it's fixing a leaky faucet, keeping your home cooler cozy, or ensuring your electrical systems are running smoothly, Gene Johnson says we're on it.
Green flag, and we're 3 wide for second for a brief moment. Jensen poked into the low side. We ride along with Austin Camp, who's slinging it up high, chasing Jesse.
Camp, the 69 car sponsored by Milberg, right up against the wall here on the front straightaway, and your look on the right-hand side is our 2 by 2 in front of them. Now you can see the effect of that speedy drive. We haven't been on the 3/8s for a little while now. We were just on the 5/8s for that second of the Mark Galloway shootouts, so still trying to run in the speedy dry in 1 and 2, and you can see it kicking up underneath the Harding car, making it hard for him to drive around there. Heck, even Jensen is tucked in and gone underneath the speedy dry, following Potasic and looking to shuffle Harding backwards.
Well, look, there's something else you might be able to see occasionally dropping onto the camera on Austin Camp's car. There is a slight precipitation that's also going to add something to the track.
Potasic makes the pass on Hill. He will jump out into the lead now. Hill second, and Jensen in position number 3. And boy, you're right. That makes this a whole new question here for the street stocks, as precipitation racing, not their forte. We don't see these drivers do it a whole heck of a lot. Jensen works around Hill for second. He will track down Potasic. The question is, what will the weather play a factor here in this main?
Well, here's the other thing. We've talked about rain racing here on the program before. This is slightly different. This is a mist. This isn't the downpour, so you don't want to go to the top. The top line still isn't the best line around the track. The bottom remains to be where you can find the speed.
Right, as we've talked about in the downpour with the weather running downhill and cool at the bottom of the racetrack, the top actually stays slightly drier. Here, even and balanced, it's not pooling anywhere. As you look at Harding working to the inside of Hill, but can't get around. Here 10 laps into this. 10 laps in, 20 to go. Feels like it's going quickly though, knock on wood.
They've been keeping it in line. Lots of contact, lots of chaos, but the only caution so far for the incident between Helm and Thornborough.
Big time down underneath the white stripe there for Harding, but couldn't get enough Hill as Team Car Camp coming behind him. So Harding about to be sandwiched between the Camp and Hill cars. Here in the running order, you've got one a little sideways behind him, but everybody stays straight. That was Fody was having trouble hanging on for a second.
Yeah, Fody has a tire down. The left rear tire on Fody's car is down. I think he just couldn't make it to the pit area. He couldn't take the hard right without crashing into Andrew Rivas. So he'll take another lap. And not seeing caution lights as Jensen's right here on the back bumper. Here is Fody once more.
And this time, will Fody make it off? Sure looks like it.
Yes, he will. And look at the car in front of the 06 and the 3. That is Brian Thornborough back once again in the number 72.
Who needs body work, right?
Maybe battered, but it is still here.
Wow, look at that. Almost looks like a modified with that open chassis configuration. Right on the back of Thornborough, Potasic gonna swing wide. Jensen's gonna go wide with him above the stripe there in 1 and 2. Meanwhile, teammate on teammate violence for third. There's Camp moving it up into the final podium position. Nice move by Camp.
Yeah, the ARC Racing teammates go side by side. Camp gets the advantage. Hill's been having a good night, though, in that 96. Trying to move forward in the Rookie of the Year point standings that so far this season have been dominated by Chase Jones.
Wow, there's the big, almost Zaretsky line in street stock out of Harding. You see him dive way underneath the white trying to make it happen. Meanwhile, Jensen with a bid to the bottom of Potasic in 1 and 2. Potasic into the kitty litter, but drives away off the top of 2 and holds it for now. Steve Potasic hanging on to the race lead, but Jensen's got a line underneath him down the front straightaway and into 1. Up to the rear corner panel, little contact as Potasic brought her further down racetrack. Jensen down low, Potasic on defense here. Brings her to the bottom off of 4 as Jensen gonna have to try a new line with 11 laps left to go.
Neon versus Chrome up front, the 06 and the 3, the only 2 winners we've seen so far this season. And Jensen has been dominant so often, but struggling to find a way around former street stock champion Steve Potasic.
Potasic takes him wide off of 4. Jensen trying to get back to the inside of 1 and 2, but Potasic doing a brilliant job of driving defensively. As battle on further back in the back, Mike Shimmick in the 7, still trying to weave his way forward. He'll get around the lap car of Thornborough, heavily modified at this point in time. And Hill trying to go upstairs as well, along with the 22 of Kenny Erickson, sponsored by Central Welding. Erickson, the 22 car, right up against the wall in the front straightaway. And we'll put Thornborough a lap down himself.
Erickson got the podium last time out here last week.
As they continue to work, Erickson did have a very good run. Trying to back it up tonight with another. Your battle for the lead. They're separated by less than a car length down the back straightaway.
Yeah, Potasic here grounding himself on that low lane. Jensen struggling to find speed in that middle groove. Normally, he can get by just about anyone, just about anywhere. But that Chrome 3 can't manage. A look around on the 06 to see Stuart Harding now going to lose 4th to Mike Shimmick.
Harding driving hard to try to get it back. Meanwhile, coming into 2 pieces of slower traffic. We'll go in car with Jesse Jensen here as he works on Potasic, looking for position to get around him. Potasic way wide to the back straightaway. Jensen trying to duck underneath. They'll come through the corner. 2 slower cars ahead of Steve Potasic.
They are battling for position.
So Jensen this time up to the numbers. kind of foot wedges himself to the inside there, right up to Rivas's 44 and Jones's 14. Look out, how's it gonna play out? Jensen has to cut way low, but at the line, you got a new race leader with 5 to go. It's the 3 of Jesse Jensen.
But he took that Zaretsky line, it got him real loose, and Potasic manages to capitalize. He's back to the back bumper of the 3, and now Thornborough, the 72, going to play a role here in the end.
There's Potasic trying to get his way back to the inside on Jensen. Jensen off the corner into the kitty litter. And it's Potasic back to the bottom. Jensen with the nose ahead, but Potasic with the preferred line. And give the lead back to Potasic. What a great race.
The 18-19 champion right there in the 06, trying to run away from Jesse Jensen. The car that's just been so fast. Jensen taking it almost to the dirt on the backstretch you see from the in-car view. But as they roll out of turn number 4, he's still chasing down Steve Potasic with one more lap to go.
And Potasic gets away coming off the 4th corner. Jensen to the inside, lot of speed, but Potasic has the pad, and that might do it. Lap traffic plays a major role in the Tire Pro Street Stock main, and give the win to Steve Potasic over Jesse Jensen in a thriller. Nice finish for Austin Camp, going home 3rd place here out of this group. So, great race. Final Angel of the Winds Casino Resort podium interviews of the night, down with our Street Stock winner.
Austin, that was a chaotic race to be sure. Working your way, watching everything kind of just fly apart in front of you. Walk us through those first few laps leading into it.
Yeah, man, coming back from what happened in the heat race, that was a wild ride. I'm sorry to the number 14 car. Got a little hot, got a little wild, but that's racing, man. Settled down, kept it calm through the main event, and just look for those holes, look for those openings, and got it done.
That you did. Who helped you do it?
I want to give a special shout out to my mom and dad. They're here from Tennessee tonight, traveled all the way out to see me. Woo-woo! Thank you to my daughter, Adriana, my spotter. My favorite part about this whole thing, all the fans, thank you guys for coming out and sticking it out late. That's it, man. Thank you.
Austin Camp, driver the number 69. First question isn't going to actually connect to this race. It's Galloway night. You have a history behind the wheel of super late models in the past. Did it make you at all a little nostalgic for those days?
Yeah, I miss working on those things and driving them when I got to. It's a huge part of my life, and I've loved every minute of it. Just, you know, family changes things and work and all that, so I don't get to spend as much time working on them or obviously driving them. But I get to do drive the number 3 Street Stock, thanks to Dirk and Kristen Kruzwick, and I have a blast doing it. That was a really fun race. Hopefully the people that stuck it out all night enjoyed it.
They seem to, judging by the excited faces down here. Who helped to get that car out here?
Tire Pros of Arlington, just the Manabusen family, Performance Machine, the whole Payton family, just Fast Eddie's, Tire Pros, just everybody that helps us, man. I just so appreciative of the opportunity to drive it.
Driver of the number 3, second place tonight, Jesse Jensen. It's been a long night, Steve. I'll keep it short. What is going through your mind battling with Jesse Jensen over those final few laps? You're going back and forth. There's lap cars to dodge. Just what is in your head?
I run for your life, honestly. I mean, Lane's on the radio, and he says, just don't miss your marks, don't miss your marks, don't miss your marks. And I messed up a couple times a little bit, and I knew it, you know. And the one other one he got underneath me, it was lap traffic. I kind of had nowhere to go. I picked the wrong way. Jesse got around, and I fought back, and the whole thing was kind of nuts.
And who would you like to thank for getting that 06 here to victory lane?
Tonight, my dad and Kevin. Kevin, it was raining, sprinkling, so it's just kind of a game guess of tires, so it worked out.
Driver of the 06 Street Stock winner, Steve Potasic.
Man, if you didn't like that night of racing here on Home Track Heroes, something's wrong with you. That That was fun, and we're going to do it all over again coming up next Sunday. The USA Birthday Bash live on the air. Demo Derby, Hornets, Stinger 8s, buses, Youth Hornets, mini bump to pass, boats, fireworks, Mr. Dizzy, and more. We won't show it all on the TV show, but we'll do our best, so should be fun, Derek.
Oh, yeah.
Next time you can be live here at Evergreen Speedway. Your beloved Figure 8 Nationals coming up, right?
Yep. Outlaw Figure 8, Superstock Figure 8, Stingers, Hornets, and Youth Hornets.
For Derek Todoroff, for Griffin, Derek doing the production, my name's Caleb Hart. We'll see you next Sunday night here on Seattle 11 for more Home Track Heroes.
Thanks for watching Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. Join us next week for more great racing from Evergreen Speedway.